Hello viewers, my name is Victor Winka. This afternoon I have a presidential aspirant here with me. One face you must have been seen everywhere already, and Professor Kingsley Moghalu. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Your party, I can see that you chose out of all the over 90 political parties we have, you chose to run with the YPP.
Yes.
Why is that?
The Young Progressive Party. The Young Progressive Party is a party that has a vision that is in line with my own vision. Okay. They don't believe in the politics of greed. Okay. They believe in a policy of progressive, a progressive market economy. Okay. And they are a party that is focused a lot on young people, but also accommodate under the cover of the party people who are young at heart, regardless of their age. Okay. So it's one of the parties that represent, I think, a new vision of politics in Nigeria. And I just did not want to go with the older parties like the APC or the PDP.
I was wondering why.
Yes, because 20 years of the combined 20 years of those two parties has left a legacy of poverty in Nigeria, and has left a legacy of instability, has left a legacy of unemployment and a lot of corruption.
Okay, but it's still very difficult to beat those two parties, love or hate.
So should we then live with poverty, corruption and insecurity because it's difficult to beat them?
No, it's just going to make me wonder how you intend to break through that line.
That's a good question. We are in this race to win, and our message, we believe, as we take it directly to Nigerians down into the grassroots and even to the middle class and the elite, I think many people are not happy with where Nigeria is today, and they're looking for something new, something different, something bold. And my vision for many people seems to provide the answer.
Let me just ask you in simple terms, what would you consider to be Nigeria's greatest problem?
Nigeria's greatest problem is that it's not a nation.
Could you explain what you mean?
Yes, it's a country, a collection of different tribes, ethnic groups and religions. Okay. But there's no unified national consciousness.
We've been preaching one Nigeria.
Exactly, but we're only united in sports. When it comes to soccer, that's when you see Nigeria. Outside of that, there is no common vision.
So you're looking at making Nigeria a country?
I'm looking at making Nigeria a nation out from a country. The other very big problem Nigeria has is that the economy of this country is poverty is a very big problem in this country.
Poverty, economic poverty, poverty of the mind.
And poverty of the mind as well.
Which are you going to be looking at? Because I see that if we are out of poverty of the mind,
the first way to beat the economic poverty is to address the poverty of the mind. Okay. Because people need to be taught how to create wealth. The government needs to take the necessary steps to provide an environment, and then the people need to be taught to take advantage of that environment. We need to be taught that we are one nation, and we need to be taught that people deserve to become wealthy from the work of their hands. Wealth is not the preserve of the politicians, which is what it is today in Nigeria. The politicians are wealthy, the people are poor.
You saw what happened with the Ekiti election?
Yes, I did.
How did you feel when you saw videos of people selling their vote for just 4,000 naira?
I was depressed.
Is there a chance that it's going to happen again?
Well, they will, of course. The politicians who have kept the people in poverty so that they can continue to buy their vote will want that situation to continue. But we are educating Nigerians ahead of 2019. I'm going across the whole country in town hall meetings, and we are conducting political education and sensitization, telling Nigerians that you should not sell your destiny for 4,000 or 5,000 naira. Many people are beginning to catch that message.
Okay, but I'm just particularly concerned about what happened in 2019, which is just some 7 months away.
Sure.
Is this message going to be enough? Is it going to cut across enough to make people realize that they have to hold on to this to get the best?
Well, first of all, you should also know that a lot of new voters are coming into the voting situation. And many of those new voters are educated people who are not going to be selling their votes.
You seem to be focused only on the youth, or majorly on the youth.
I'm not focused only on them, but the youth is important because they own the future. The purpose of every society is to regenerate itself and to make progress. And that means building a different future and better future for young people.
Professor, we've been talking about the youth and the future forever. It scares me.
Yes.
Would there ever be a future for the youth?
There will be when I become president of Nigeria.
You talked about the vice president. I can see sometimes in May when the vice president said that Nigeria, in so many states, would survive without the federal government.
No, I'm not sure.
No, the vice president said that. And you said that, okay, you're happy the vice president has actually said that they can't survive. That is why you'll be bringing in restructuring.
Well, of course, yes.
Restructuring is scary. It's to a layman, it looks like somebody is trying to share the government.
No.
What is it to you?
Restructuring is to make Nigeria work.
Oh.
How do we make Nigeria work? By devolving power to the people. There's too much power concentrated in Abuja. And that is why Nigeria is not working. That is why the race to become president is do or die. But if we devolve power so that the different geopolitical zones can earn their own resources, natural resources or fiscal resources, and manage their own economies, manage their education systems, manage their healthcare, manage their agriculture, it is much better. It will be so that people can hold them accountable because they're closer to the people. It's more difficult to hold somebody in Ibadan or Lagos accountable in the western, southwest geopolitical zone than it is to hold somebody who is in Abuja accountable. So they will pay a tax to the federal government, but they will retain a majority of their earnings, in my own vision. About 60% they should retain for themselves and pay 40% to the federal government. And this will also allow the economies to grow.
Okay. Do you think the legislative needs some cleansing?
Of course they do. The legislature today is a pool of, they are not as effective as they should be, and they earn too much money.
If we have a very good president,
yes,
don't you think those people will continue to give the president problem?
No.
Why not?
If you're a good leader, you should be able to know how to engage your National Assembly or your legislature.
Do you think this present government has been engaging them?
No, it's a failed government.
What are they doing wrongly? Or what would you have done differently?
What I'll do differently? First of all, this government has no vision.
They came with a lot of visions.
They came with a lot of promises to win the elections. Please differentiate between promises to win an election and a real vision. A real vision is such as I have articulated in this book. Build, innovate, and grow. It's properly articulated. A vision for leadership and governance, a vision for nation building, a vision for economic transformation, and a vision for our diplomatic and international affairs. So it's very well articulated how Nigeria can restore itself and to its place in the world. That's what you call a vision. A vision is unifying, it's powerful, it's all-embracing. We don't have that today.
We don't have that. That's it. How do we talk about this? We've not really been having anything coming from the southeast.
Yes.
Especially when it comes to presidency and the way we pursue it. Does it bother you?
Well, you see, let me explain. Every part of this country, every citizen of Nigeria should have the opportunity or feel free to have the opportunity to aspire to leadership. It cannot be right where parts of the country are excluded from the opportunity of leadership based on antiquated discussions or things like zoning or unconstitutional considerations. Having said that, I am not a candidate of the Southeast Zone. I'm not an ethnic candidate for the presidency. I am a Nigerian candidate for the Nigerian presidency. And I'm not running on the platform of my ethnic group or my geopolitical zone. No, I have a vision to unite all Nigerians. I have a vision to wage war against poverty in this country. And I have a vision to restore Nigeria to its place in the world.
You are everywhere on the social media. I want to believe the social media has just been a place and avenue where people come to discuss. It doesn't guarantee a PVC. It doesn't guarantee a vote.
That's true.
Okay, so
we are working outside of social media. We've set up structures across the whole country. I have the Kingsley Moghalu Support Organization. We are now present in 30 states. We have the Kingsley Moghalu Volunteers, and they are present in over 30 states. These structures go down from states to local government to what do you call it? Polling booths, wards and polling booths. So we are creating structures that will deliver our message directly to the people of Nigeria. Therefore, we are not operating only on social media. We're operating on the ground. We have a ground game that is being built and designed to win.
Professor, I wish we could have the whole day to talk about this, but as it stands, we are going to have to stop here. Thank you very much, and wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.